be recording so that Thomas can watch our videos later. Okay. So today, yes, I'm still here. Log in a new window. Freaking D2L, if you don't mess with it for like 5 minutes, it'll log you out. It's very annoying. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you for just a minute and show you guys what I have just uploaded. It's much like last week's stuff, the grammar stuff, but there's significantly less of it. Parallelism. If you click on that, it should open up this PDF. And parallelism starts right here. Parallelism is really important because it comes up more often than you think, and it's like an easy thing to make your writing look dumb if you don't do it right. I remember doing this in like studying some parallelism and working on it year before last in AP, I guess. It was with Heather Darden's group, whatever year that was. And some people really struggled with parallelism, and they were like upset about it because they were like, why do we even need to know this? This is such a technical grammar thing. And I don't think anyone would even realize it if you did it wrong. But then, like within a couple of weeks, several of them were like, I'm noticing it everywhere. And it does look stupid, and I just never realized it before because I didn't know what I was looking at. But I'm just going to kind of like run you through this parallelism stuff and then show you like where it's relevant in the quizzes. Parallelism is basically when you match the form of your sentence to its meaning. This says when your ideas are equally important. I don't know that important is the right word, but if they are parallel, if they are equal in form, then you express them in similar or parallel grammatical form. I'll show you in a second some examples of what it looks like when you don't do it right, and then I think that will help you kind of grasp this a little bit more. Their first example here is the air is dirtied by factories belching smoke and vehicles spewing exhaust. So in both of these, on either side of the and, you have a plural noun verbing a thing. In this second one, pulleys are ancient machines for transferring power. Unfortunately, they are also efficient machines. So it's between two sentences, but you're still talking about the same thing. Here we have some examples with coordinating conjunctions: and, but, or, nor, and yet. So anytime you have like neither, nor, or what's another example? Well, we'll look at some examples. You know that you need parallelism on both of those, like on both sides of that. So let's actually look at these examples of where it's not parallel and then how they revise it, because that's probably going to make a lot more sense, or at least help you kind of like grasp what we're talking about here. Non-parallel, the reasons that steel companies kept losing money were that their plants were efficient, high labor costs were inefficient, high labor costs, and foreign competition was increasing. So that's not parallel because the three things that they're listing are not in the same form, or sometimes they won't even be in the same tense, and you'll know that it is not parallel. So they have, the reason is that their plants were inefficient, and then you want to say like that they had high labor costs and that foreign competition was increasing. You just want to make sure that all parts of it are structured the same. Their revised version is much cleaner and beautiful. The reasons that steel companies kept losing money were inefficient plants, high labor costs, and increasing foreign competition. That's just three things there, three reasons, but they're all just listed. So another example, given training, workers can acquire the skills and interest in other jobs. And like already that just sounds weird, the skills and interest in other jobs. Like it could be trying to say like skills in other jobs, but even that doesn't really make sense. So if it's revised and if both parts are parallel, given training, workers can acquire the skills for and interest in other jobs. This is basically more examples of the same stuff. It's just talking about like both and, either or, neither nor, that kind of thing. Not only, but also, because you can kind of recognize that you're going to have two sides of those things, neither this nor this. Not only this, but also this. There's always going to be some kind of parallel there, and you need to make sure that it's actually correct and that both sides are actually correct. So a non-parallel example there would be Huck Finn learns not only that human beings have an enormous capacity for folly, but also enormous dignity. So the first element, this first underlined bit, says it includes that human beings have, but the second part does not. So it's kind of implying that if you unraveled the sentence or like deconstructed it, it would say Huck Finn learns that human beings have an enormous capacity for folly. Huck Finn learns enormous dignity. And that's not what we're trying to say. So if we clean it up and make our parts parallel, Huck Finn learns that human beings have not only an enormous capacity for folly, but also enormous dignity. Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Lists, headings, and outlines. I think that making a list parallel is actually probably the easiest one, because you don't have to worry about conjunctions and making sure that things are equal on each side. Parallelism is like the algebra of English, and sometimes it can be complicated. If it's non-parallel, you see here that we've got extension of trade routes, merchant class became more powerful. Already it's weird because like you've got in the first one, it's just like a noun, the extension of trade routes. And then the second one is like a whole sentence, merchant class became more powerful. You need to stick with one or the other. So revised, extension of trade routes, increased power of the merchant class, death of feudalism, upsurge of the arts, and rise of religious quarrels. I didn't read through all of those, but you can kind of see how they're not super parallel. Even just putting the in this one is kind of throwing off your parallelism. Are we going to do this exercise? No, we're not. I'm going to stop there, but this is something that you definitely need to look at because it's going to be relevant for quizzes. You know what? 1 second. What I'm going to do is view as student because I have a lot more stuff on my page than y'all do. That's going to be really relevant for paragraph editing. And then also, I think later on, I am going to look at mine for a second. Nope, not discussions. JK. So you actually have like a parallelism thing. Yeah. You will have some just on parallelism. So if you look, this is going to possibly look like slightly intimidating. Hopefully not. But on the due date calendar, you're going to have like all three of these do. So I'm already giving you some stuff. I'm giving you the parallelism stuff today, and then some pronoun and subject verb agreement stuff the next week. And you will have kind of several weeks actually to work on these, which is nice. Even though you've got another quiz coming up before you get to these, you can kind of keep this stuff and keep looking at it. Because on Thursday, November 5th, there are 8 quizzes that you're going to have due. And like, obviously you can work on those quizzes before then, but 8 quizzes is kind of a lot, but that's like all of the sentence quizzes. This is all, so like if you're looking at my screen right now, this is all stuff that I haven't released to you yet, but you can see 8 sentence quizzes. So I'm just kind of like rolling out some of the material to you a little bit at a time, so that you don't get super overwhelmed with all of this stuff. I mean, hopefully this is not super overwhelming, but the punctuation mechanics and quotation marks and the other quotation marks ones, those are due when? The 16th. Next Friday. So if you want to go ahead and get some of those out of the way, I think some of you already tried them or tried one of them maybe, and wound up glad that you have more than one opportunity to try them. I will say these pages that I'm giving you are very, very helpful in preparing for these quizzes. So I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions right now about parallelism? Okay. So, okay. Today is basically just like I'm giving you the grammar info. It would also be a great day for you to go back and look at what I've already given you on, where's this? Punctuation, quotation marks. I gave you guys that last week. So it says links for help with grammar. That's where you would find the punctuation pages. So this is a great time for you to go back and review some of that, because tomorrow is Thursday, which means we're going to spend time with the quizzes. Hopefully some of you guys have done well on those so far, if you have been trying them. If you haven't, it's not a big deal, because we have this time in class tomorrow to work on those. I was just kind of trying to see if you guys had done any of this yet. Okay, we've got some not going great thus far, it looks like. Not great. So that's kind of evidence that we definitely need to be paying attention to these grammar pages that I'm giving you, because all of your explanations are in there. And then also I gave you 2 links for things you can work on, or for grammar websites that should be helpful. Looking to see how many. Okay, that one's a little bit better. Yeah, these punctuation quizzes are not going great so far. Okay, okay. Everyone may go ahead and go, and I would spend some time looking over this grammar stuff. It's gonna be helpful. Short day, short day. Wednesdays will often be short. Bye.